With Mount Rainier in the distance, there are few cities finer on a clear afternoon than this one, and we have a picture-perfect day for football at Lumen Field in Seattle. Today, we've got a Week 8 matchup on tap here between the Minnesota Vikings and the Seattle Seahawks. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. From the 10. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. 2nd down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. From the shotgun, Wilson. Man open downfield, it's Metcalf. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. 27 yards there, a 1st down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Wilson. He'll get that one complete to Connor. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
Tackle there by Nick Cross.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The 1st down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Here's Wilson to throw. Throw out wide to Walker. Touchdown! Kenneth Walker with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Seahawks are on the board first here this afternoon. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. They start the drive with Cook. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. And, CD, you look at this defense, what kind of pressure are they under trying to stop a team that has won 5 games in a row?
Well, to me, it makes their job harder because you know you're going up against an offense that's playing at an elite level, and sometimes you can get too caught up in trying to play the perfect game. You're trying to be too precise, too fine, instead of just letting it rip. And I think that's more the priority than trying to be absolutely perfect.
We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
First down, here's the run with Cook. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Six yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Again, it's Cook. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down. Well, this defense for the Seahawks, they were very strong last week in the win over Carolina.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. From the gun, Winston. He rifles one that's intercepted. And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football.
Well, it's 3rd down. You're in a tight game in the loudest stadium in the NFL, and it's enough to rattle even the most seasoned of quarterbacks. And here, it looks like he's not quite on the same page as his receiver. This will wind up a turnover.
After the interception, here's Wilson. Open man, that's Noah Fant, the tight end. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pickup there, 21 yards. Walker now on 1st and 10. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
Fourth down and no hesitation from Matt LaFleur as he sends out the field goal unit. This from 44 yards away. And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover over the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They find themselves down 10-0 early after the interception on their opening drive led to a field goal.
So now they've got to pick up the mantle a little bit. You mentioned the team's down 10. They don't contribute to that. How are they going to get their team back into this ball game? Run the offense that you think is going to be effective and execute it at a high level.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Winston. And the Seahawk defense gets to him and they bring him down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
If we go back to the last series, remember their coverage allowed them to get a turnover in the last drive, a takeaway, and that helps contribute to a sack on this one. I think maybe this quarterback's a little bit hesitant. Last time he turned it over, now he sees his zone coverage. A little bit slow to get rid of the football.
To try again after the sack. Winston. And incomplete on the deep ball.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Jameis to throw it. And that is incomplete.
That looks like it's going to be 2 empty possessions now to start this football game. I think they're going to have to sit down and talk about what worked for them last week in their win. Sometimes you over-game plan, overthink things. Get back to what works.
So on 4th down, on is the punter Ryan Wright. Back deep for the Seahawks, Tyler Lockett. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and it'll be Seahawk football 1st and 10. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And they come into this one riding that nice long win streak. And remember, next weekend is an open week for them. So if they can get the win here, a lot of momentum into that time off.
It certainly is. And if you're wondering if anybody's saying, boy, this is coming at a bad time, we want to keep playing, the answer can be yes. Because when teams are on a hot streak, they want to keep going. But what the veterans are telling the young guys in the locker room, an open week is always good, guys. Take it and let's go with it.
Up the middle they run. It's Walker. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Wilson. He finds his man, complete. That's Connor. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. Well, you and I, partner, we got the plum assignment this week, an unbeaten team against a one-loss team. Really not much separating these two entering play here today.
Not much at all, and I think for both coaches, they've looked at their team and said, guys, You got to know what you're getting into in this one, and you better be ready to go because you get to answer the big question of the day. Are we as good as we think we are? We're about to find out.
They'll run for it. It's Walker. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. A gutsy call. Turns out to be a good one, though. First down on a pickup of 11. Throwing is Wilson. He'll find Metcalf. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
From the gun, it's Walker. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Here's Wilson. Over the middle, complete. That's Walker. And the Seahawks are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score. Here's Walker. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Ken Walker, his 7th rushing touchdown on the year. And his guys now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. And there the counter play proves successful for the touchdown. What typically makes a counter play in general successful, Charles?
But what you're trying to do, Brandon, is to get the team moving in one direction, meaning the defense, get them going in one direction and then wall them off with your blocking and bring it back in the other direction. That way, you don't actually have to punish them with your blocking. You just position them. If you have any kind of a good back, he'll take full advantage of it and gain good yardage.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And a short kick taken at about the 16. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me on a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Winston. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long.
Well, he did his primary job with an interception earlier, but here he gets a chance to be a pass rusher and takes on the challenge of blitzing and makes another big play. That's something to file away and maybe break out later in this one or in a future game.
That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And here's Ryan Wright now as he'll punt it away for the second time. Yards that time on the punt, and out will come the offense as they take over. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And now consider the lead. The question is, how much is good enough? Are you going for more?
It's the NFL. There's never enough, I believe, because they get reeled in all the time when you sit on the ball. I think that they will try and move the ball downfield and try and squeeze a few more points out of this first half. They'll be careful. They'll be a little bit cautious at times, but also they will attack downfield and try and get in position for at least 3 points.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Wilson. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Here's Wilson. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A nice pickup of 23 on the 3rd down conversion. Now Wilson on 1st down. He completes this to Walker. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Again, Wilson. He finds his man, complete. That's Connor. And they are into field goal range now as he's got the first down at the 26. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. He hit his first. Now this from 43. And his kick here is good. And that will do it for this first half. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Vikings set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail it here as we resume play. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. We'll see, Charles, if they had a chance to hit the reset button at halftime. They have not scored. They're facing this big deficit. And if they're going to come back, it's going to have to start right now.
Yeah, and for them, it's not dwelling in the negative because, yes, they were totally ineffective in the first half. But we've seen many games that have flipped around in the second half. It all starts with this drive right here. They get something good going, put some points on the board, they begin to have hope.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Winston. Right back to Cook for another completion. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
From the 39, Winston. They'll set up the screen for Nwangu. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
And that doesn't have to gain big yardage. It should be an impactful play, because if you get those pass rushers second-guessing themselves, then they might get hit with a screen. Maybe you can wind up slowing them down just a step. And if you do that, that's a win for that play.
To the air again with Winston. That'll be complete to the running back, Nwangu. And they're going to get this up to midfield. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the 1st down.
Winston now from the 50. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football. And right now, I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
We sit in quarter number 3 out in Seattle. A 2nd and 10 now. Here's Winston. Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And now off to the races, down the right side. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, I mean, you get it. They're trying to make something happen here in this 3rd quarter, CD, but I don't think a pick 6 is exactly what they had in mind.
No, not at all, because this offense, they've been stuck all game long. Haven't dented the scoreboard yet, and they're kind of forced to take a few chances here, and that one, it backfired in a big way.
Point after, right down the middle, and that stretches the lead all the way up to 27. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Winston. And Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Quadre Diggs. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, whenever a adjustments they're trying to make over on that sideline, Charles. This defense, they just seem to be a step in front of them and not giving them a chance to implement any of those changes. And here, a pick six, and they widen the lead.
At least a step ahead, maybe even 2 steps. And right now, they are thinking hard about putting this opponent away. That turnover, it grew their lead and just totally deflated that offense. Now these next couple of series, you can take them out of the game entirely if you continue on this pace.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Working out of the gun, Winston. Under pressure, they got him again. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down. Went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Tariq Woolen picks it, and the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now Wilson. Over the middle, that's caught by Metcalf. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Up the middle, here's Walker. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Noah Fant. An 18-yard touchdown grab. And the Seahawks get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead grows grows even larger here in the third quarter. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
In every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Winston.
He's going to get this one down to Cook.
He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down.
Now, this is certainly one of the bigger losses that we are going to see for quite some time. And you have to think at this point where we're at in the fourth quarter with how wide this advantage is. For this offense, they're just trying to end things with a positive drive and then get the heck out of here.
Yeah, if this had been a concert, you would have heard plenty of sour notes in this one. But they certainly don't want to end it on one. They want to put together a few more throws like that and at least have a final drive to give them a little bit more hope as they move forward.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Throwing, Winston. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now. But as you mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before we close out.
And the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Another try after the first down sack. Winston, and pressure coming, and they got him once again. They dial up the quarter blitz that time, and it delivers to the tune of a 9-yard loss.
Partner, my vocabulary isn't that great, but to me, there's only one word that fits this front seven today, and that's dominant. 4 and 5 sacks is already rare in one game. Getting to more than 6 in one contest while winning by this many points, an absolutely astounding effort by every player involved.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And now here's another interception.
Picked up by Isaiah Rodgers. And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football.
Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just one remaining here in this fourth quarter.
Suddenly, it's 1st and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here. On the counter, it's Walker. And he will not be denied. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Kenneth Walker, his 3rd touchdown of the game, number 9 on the season.
And the Seahawks add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And that 5-game win streak is ticking away here in the 4th quarter. Just haven't been as sharp in this one. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Oh, he didn't spike it. He faked it. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Cook. And he'll be out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Play action now. Winston rolling to his right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. He's got a man, complete.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
That one goes for 36 yards.
There's no doubt in my mind that not many guys in this league have had the impact that he's had here in the first half of the season. He's been a big play guy from the word go and continues to be one with another one right there.
They go play action. Winston can't get away, and he's taken down.
And that sack, it goes to Boye Mafe.
Oh, you can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Winston. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To throw, Winston. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Desperation time. Winston on 4th down. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. They had to go for it with such little time remaining,
And the Seahawks, they'll get the football back in outstanding field position. Straight ahead, Walker. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on second down.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college, and how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee, and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
So the victory here for Seattle. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Seahawks, they continue to cruise as they move to 8-0 now on the campaign. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, the loss will drop them to 6-2 now on the year. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel up to Detroit to take on the Lions.